Hey guys, it's Angel and welcome back to the channel. And yes, this is Carenado Cessna 185 from the beta of Sim Update 1. This could be our first famous flyer or local legend. I can never remember which name is which. But this is the 185 Skywagon, which is a 6-seat single-engine light aircraft from Cessna, which is an up-engined relative version of the 180, which itself could have learned from the 170. This, of course, the 180 went on to become like the 170 to the 172, the 180 to the 182 family. Now this is the big one. This is a 300 horsepower IO 520, giving you the ability to do 155 knots max on a wheeled version, cruise at 145, range of around 700 nautical miles, and service ceiling just over 17,000 feet. Of course, in the float one, you'll get down to about 135 cruise, 480-ish range on the Amphib, versus the float, which gives you about 20 more nautical miles. But you don't get a float here. Yes. But we do get wheel pants. We get straight wheels. We get Tundra tyres. We get skis. And we get an Amphibian. The only variant missing from Carenado's original 185 and 185 bush pack is the straight floater. Which is really sad because I like the straight float 185. I think it's special. But this aircraft is capable. Now, her empty weight of this aircraft is 1,700 pounds. Her gross weight is 3,300. So she has a big load capacity. This makes her a very capable bush workhorse. Like the 206s, 207s, these things put in the work doing actual load carrying in the bush. Much less capable of being good at loading and unloading bulky objects like a 206 or a Beaver, because you only have the forward doors. It's still a pretty good aircraft. So let's go take a look without much further ado at what we've got here. Now, this being 24 native, we do have things like the shocks, covers, and bits and pieces. But what I can tell you is this is definitely the original FSX textures upscaled. How do I know this? I am very intimately familiar with that one. I did a ton of texture work on it and retexturing and repaints and things. And you can see the zigzaggy joint there around the nose cone, which is fun. But the light lens textures, I can tell you if you look under here, the same smearing under the cowling from the exhausts is the same. In fact, if you look at it, it looks a little bit smoother than it should because that is upscaled. Yes, sirree. In fact, that wheel hub is identical because I copy-pasted it onto some other textures I used. Same brakes. If you look at the oil streaks on the wing, you'll see how low res it is at close range. But honestly, from the actual average viewing range you'll get to this aircraft, I'm okay with it. It's actually more than fine. Now, I'm just saying it to point it out that that's what they've done. I do, however, believe it's a good, and I like that. Nice to have those little features. It's a good and worthwhile aircraft to actually include, because it gives us some real fun capability for us bush pilots. Even the baggage compartment back there. Now, one disappointment out the way first. There is no belly pod. Sorry. I wanted one too. No belly pod. Let's get on board, shall we, and take a look at the aircraft itself. Now, those of you familiar with the FSX one will recognise the textures internally quite well. It does mean no version, which was the ski one normally, that had the lower window door in it. But this beige 1970s wet dream is absolutely the same one. So let's get alternators and avionics off here. We'll get our boost pumps on. Fuel is on and ready. Mixture's good. Props good. Throttle is cracked. Fuel is to both. Cowls are going to be open there. Now when it comes to sounds, it does sound a lot like the FSX one. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, but it doesn't sound bad either. And given that this is free, I'm more than okay with this. And I want to make an argument about the textures for a second. I don't think they're that big a deal. Because they look good. From any reasonable range, they look good. I mean, in this case, if you look at it, you can see just how much the materials make a difference. Compare this to FSX and it's night and day. Why do it again when you don't have to? One of the biggest advances of modern games is that you do not need to go insane with the texture to make it look good. Back in the day, we had to work super hard in FSX to make things look good, because we had so little in the way of lighting, material effects, and behaviour that we had to go all out and make things a work of art to look reasonably good. Now that's next to unnecessary. It helps, but it does not the end of the world. So I'm okay with this looking and feeling upscaled. Working title GPS, of course, by default there for the 430. Now, one thing that's interesting here is there's no autopilot. You'll see this big open panel here. There are two theories. One is it's not got one. The other is this is basically it's going to be what it's like, and that they've just left it for now because it is in the Sim Update 1 beta, and this is just not there because they've not finished making the older coffee grinder style autopilot yet, which is possible, entirely possible. Working with new code for the 24 one, entirely plausible. However, Carenado don't tend to update a lot of things, so... Oh, so noise when you open this is... there, so that's nice. Let's open... no sound from the vents. Okay, so a little bit nose down trim here. We've got full throttle. Controls full forward. Keep that there. And tail up. And one pop. I'm going to try to haul her into the sky. She doesn't like it, but she'll do it. There we go. Not bad at all. Flaps up. And I might point out, that's a full-on bush takeoff in a family station wagon. Yeah. They call it the Sky Wagon for a reason. Huge payload there. 1,300 pounds-ish. With fuel. But she is more than capable as a good aircraft. So we're going to turn north here. We're going to go find ourselves a Sandbar to go test her on. Because it's a bush plane, we're going to land on a Sandbar, right? I could use a field, but a Sandbar feels appropriate. So we're going to do just that. Now, like I said, just the 430 there, not necessarily compatible with other things so far, being that it's going to be a marketplace release with Sim Update 1. It'll be a stock first-party aircraft, so chances of this being unencrypted lacks to 0. So people pulling out radios and things to put a 730 in or 750 in, not likely. That's why I think that Carenado don't tend to update things twice, so I just don't think it's going to get an autopilot. My theory is thus. Carenado's main releases have been decent. Carenado quality with the stuff you expect. Options, pads, ground features. Obviously that's not really necessary in 24. But one thing they don't have is they don't tend to have in their Sim Update releases, famous flyers or local legends, there's always something lacking. Not in the general quality, but there's some feature that would have made the aircraft perfect that's just missed out. Either an autopilot is no longer not included, there's not a GPS in the avionics suite, or something more modern to be able to cope in a modern world where these days there's more RNAV than there is nav aids in some cases. So GPS has become slightly necessary. Obviously for that we have, of course, our tablets in the new sim. Do we have checklists here? We actually have checklists for once with Carenado. That's a Hanukkah miracle. Okay, what have we got down here? This one ahead of us should do just fine on the front. I like that one. We will come around and we'll do an approach. That one feels nice for me. We'll do that. So yes, this aircraft, it feels like that's going to be the one thing that if it had an autopilot or the belly pod option, either or, it would be basically perfect. I'd be happy with this aircraft. That's why I don't think it will get one. Because that's the one thing that would make it basically an almost non-stop flyer for me alongside the 206, would be that. Now, if Carenado brought out as an actual pay version their 206 updated, the Bush version updated with the amphib, the belly pod, the cargo, that I'd have in a heartbeat. They won't, of course. They'll do the Golf Taxi 6-seater with the leather seats and the G1000, and I'll want to cry, but it'll still exist. So Sal's one is my favourite for that reason. Now this is testing that one because this is really nice. Let's just see how capable she is, shall we? Let's get down here towards the river. So she's not too slippery, but not too draggy either, which makes a good combination. Yeah, we are. It's the river ahead of us, so 2 notches flaps there. Set ourselves in here for this corner, where we're going to have to come around it and land. There's a bit of a lip on the waterfront as well. Flaps to full. Okay, we're going to have to drag this thing in now. Speed's coming down nicely. Just over 60 at the moment. It's going to be a bit of a tighter turn to final than I'd like here. Ooh, steady girl, steady. Flaps up. No. That was it, that's it. Good go. Good. One toe brake. We'll turn to slow ourselves down. That's it. Good girl. There we go. Nice. Parking brake on. Whew. Kick up a bit of dust there. Let's hop out and take a look around, shall we? My favourite feature of 24 by a mile. And as you can see, we've ploughed a bit of a trough. Because this is quite a sandy bar. Good job we had the Tundras here, because this is some tract level ploughing going down here. But she's made it in and she looks pretty good doing it, so not bad at all. Should we go test the amphib? We know you want me to. Oh, go on then. So, boys and girls, we are here on the beach just where we were. Well, not the same beach, but one nearby, with the Amphibian. And I started on the beach because I learned my lesson about chocks and seaplanes. So let's get the covers out here. Everything that worked on the other version works on this one, of course. All our storage compartments and hatches. Can I do anything with the floats? Not necessarily. But you'll see it's the same whip lines and same textures from Carenado's older one. But still looks great, to be honest, like this. It does look great. And you've got any complaints regarding its appearance? It's more than plenty for me. Right, let's get on board, shall we? Okay, so usual suite of instruments we expected. We'll get the mixture up there. Good. And going. And crack. And 3, 2, 1. Click prop. Okay, cut that out. Those are all good there. I'm shortcutting whilst we're trying to get this thing done. Because I want us to get in the water and get going here. Turn my head on. We'll taxi in here and go plop. And we'll find ourselves a nice stretch of river to take off in. Okay, wheels are coming up. Now, what is the tail wheel lock in the... Interesting. There's water rudders in this variant. Let's pull the power out there while I work out what's going on here. Because enter's not actually okaying that. Interesting. So the GPS there is stuck. Let's recycle that to see if it will come back on properly. Entirely possible it will, knowing some of this stuff. But I've recycled that. This is a winding at me, which is a nice start. So see if that comes back on. So we'll taxi around this bend and we'll take off to our left. So we'll give it 1 notch of flaps for takeoff here. A little bit of nose up trim. Just where she wants to be. A couple of degrees. If I donked a bit of shallow, as I might have done. Okay. Yep, there we go. It works out fine. Just cycled that through. Bit of a glitch in the software. It's almost like turning it off and on again for a computer. Okay, this looks good. So let's make sure our water rudders are retracted. Got a good stretch of water ahead of us. A little bit of back pressure on the controls. Ease forward. Little bit of porpoising, but not a ton. It's not as bad as some aircraft have been in 2024 so far. It's not super realistic, but it's not the worst I've flown. The stock Caravan's terrible compared to this. So this isn't bad. Not great, but not bad. Flaps are coming in. Pull the RPM. Bring everything into the green for us here. And we're cooking on gas. Certainly a good looking aeroplane. And we're going to test a landing on the runway, probably on the way back. We'll do a quick landing on water first just to see how she is. We'll do a second takeoff and then we should be good to go. Now you'll notice these are static numbers on the aircraft rather than dynamics. So we'll land just with that bend just past the airfield there. So we'll reduce our speed here. This is definitely draggier than the wheeled version. You'll notice that much, of course. Configured, everything mixture, prop. Flaps are retracted currently. Water rudders are retracted. Looking good there. Might be a little bit short notice there to land, so I'm going to just extend to the next bend in that direction. 2 notches flaps. Yeah, we're just going to go for that second curve there. But you know what, we'll just come down here, we'll just curve around and land on the straight next to it, so that's fine. Not a problem for us whatsoever. The best things about landing on rivers is you get to pick where you touch down. Okay. It's bringing back all my fond FSX memories, that's for sure. I love how this thing's flying. Beautiful aeroplane. And I will definitely spend a lot of time in her, in the sim. The notch flaps, a little bit of power here. Okay, looking good. And come round the bend. Straighten her up. Oh, it's just as I remember. Oh. Not terrible. Little Skippy. The bush kangaroo. Okay. Okay. Not awful. That is getting an Av Angel. Yeah, not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. We'll go straight for a takeoff here, so a bit of rudder to kind of, once we get some airflow over it, should straighten us out, and we're good. Let's see how she takes off again. Because that's the one weak spot. A little bit of skipping, but not too bad. Let's finesse that a little bit. And up she comes at decent speed. Flaps retracted. Not bad. Not bad at all. Where's our field? There it is. We'll just do a keyhole 360 here, or 270 in this case, to line up for the runway and make our approach. She's not bad at all. Given it's free, that's already a good sign. But even if I had to pay for this, I'd pay $20 for this. Not the usual £10 that you're looking at for a famous Flier or local legend. For what we're getting here, wheel pants and regular wheels, which to be fair could have been a toggle on the model. Admittedly, they've done it separately as a variant because there is a speed difference, so that's a factor. Cool. But there is also dynamic resistance, so that shouldn't be a problem anymore. But we have Tundra, wheel pants, wheels, skis, and Amphibian. That's a bunch of different variants. 5, I think I counted. Tundra, skis, wheels, pants. Yeah, Amphibian 5. Okay. Not 5 variants of an aircraft. A decent float behavior. Not perfect, but much better than some. Gears coming down. Props good. That's everything good there. That's retracted. That's set so it needs to be. Okay, we're looking good here. So, 5 variants, a bunch of liveries, although not in every model. Missing an autopilot is the only thing that upsets me. The only thing that upsets me about this is missing autopilot, which would have made it perfect. Because it's on a plane like this that can go further, faster, and longer. And autopilot's a really useful tool to have because it's going to be something you might want to take on longer journeys. Hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, up to 4. It's really going to do that well. So that's the one sad thing. And if it's not something that they're going to have in the final variant, I'll be disappointed. I'll still fly it, and I'll hope someone can basically make one work. You can always twiddle the code a little bit and make it allow it if we're able to actually get to the aircraft configs. Touchdown. A little bit of braking here. Flaps up. Now, you want us to be turning at low speeds with amphibs, because they will topple, and they will knock themselves over. You don't want to make that mistake. But I think she's great. This is fantastic, and given that this is free, I'm excited. If you've not got the beta yet, you can go and get it from the Xbox Insider app. You can subscribe to that and get the Sim Update 1. It seems pretty good so far from my perspective. Sim performance has been great. Basic ground textures look really nice. Everything does look a lot crisper and sharper. There's generally pretty darn good performance. There's some inconsistencies in some places, but it's been worked on. Obviously, you want to get that right. Problem is, you've got two camps of people. One lot bashing them for taking so long to do it properly, and one lot bashing them for... or telling them to not release it any sooner, because if they let it out too soon, they'll be upset. That's a mall. I wish we had a good stock mall, because the two that are out I'm not happy with them at all. So there is that. Alright, we'll park up here. Not chop up the school bus, that would be a very bad mistake. And we'll hop out of the plane. I am very happy. I could have been very disappointed by this, but it's really good. I like that. It's exactly what you're expecting with the Carenado, and this is how I know it's the old textures, because look at the lit up texture. It's that same glowing, slightly orange one. I knew it. But you know what? It's worth it. And for free, you cannot grumble. Yeah, you cannot grumble. It is flyable. Thanks for watching. Molly, 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 molly. Excuse me. Bye.